Hey everybody, I'm Jim Ingersoll. It's good to be hanging out with you guys. I got a lot of friends on, a lot of Inner Circle members on, a lot of people that have been to my Deal Maker and in my Facebook group and all that good stuff. It's good to see you. We've been hanging out for a little while already, catching up with a lot of friends. Chuck Glover, nice to see you. I'm glad I got my selfie with you the other night. Ryan Mellon. Ryan, you hooked me up, was it Tuesday night? I talked to so many people and I'm like, I really need a drink. And you guys know I don't drink alcohol. And Ryan's like, I'm going to get you a Diet Pepsi. And that was like, it really hit the spot. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Desperately needed.
Tim.
I loved it. Thank you very much. Yeah, we got a lot of people coming in and we had over 300 registered. So a lot of people registered. I'm not 100% sure exactly how many I can get on Zoom. So I'm glad you guys signed in early. A few folks started coming in at 11:45, which was awesome. Early in the year is a time where everybody can be extra optimistic. You guys that know me may know I'm an eternal optimist anyways. I'm never a glass half empty kind of guy. I'm a capitalist and really always think there's opportunity. And that opportunity rings regardless of, politics or anything else. I think, and market cycles. I think real estate investors can do well in any market cycle. And I think there's new opportunities that are coming out, that are coming to us right now that we need to be aware of as well. Jeff Sachaki, always great to see you. Chat it up in the box, introduce yourself, tell us what you do, where you do it. We got a lot of people on that are, well, I see people on the first screen that are property managers, investors, wholesalers. We got flippers, landlords, all that good stuff. Sort of tell us about yourself. Irish Kevin, I love it. So you're a syndicator, love it. So get to know each other. I always say your network equals your net worth. And it's really important because the 5 people that you hang out with the most are going to really determine your pathway forward. And groups like this are a great opportunity to go ahead and build that network. Everybody on the call today, I love the way you opened the other day, Allie. You said everybody with us tonight has something to give and needs something. So if you're looking for deals or if you're looking for funding or if you're looking for knowledge, just type it into the box. And if you've got something to give, type it in the box as well. You might not think you don't have a lot to give, but we all have something to give. We all have different experience levels and different stuff. For instance, at this time of the year, I always like to talk about what books people are reading or what you're listening to on Audible. So type in a good book into the chat box as well. And you can save the chat box by clicking the 3 dots on the right. So I want to just talk openly for a little while, and then I've got Ellie Murphy to my side here, is going to give a PowerPoint on setting goals. I think it's really important. I hope you're thinking like, what does a perfect day look like for you? And what kind of income goals are you looking at? What kind of equity growth are you looking for? What kind of passive opportunities are you looking for? And you're able to start formulating some of that pretty well. So I'll start there. I think one of the greatest opportunities this year is going to be the return of both creative real estate and also subject to deals, because both allow you to go out and get really great rates without having to go get new bank financing. You guys know, for homeowner occupied type, I love that, Sharon, without your cat. Love it. I think, rates have doubled. They went from roughly 3 to 6.5, something like that. And as rates go up, demand, the volume goes down. And as that volume goes down and as the economy tweaks through a recession, it's going to create brand new opportunities. And I think one of the ways you can go back and get 3% mortgages right now is with subject to deals. I also think it's a good time to get seller financing. We've had really good luck getting seller financing in the last 2 years, both in Virginia and in Florida. I'm looking at you, Gavin, because you've been involved with some of mine in Florida. It's been really good. And I think there's going to be more opportunities for that as we go forward through the year. And you can get really great rates. If you can go out and do a subject to deal and pick up somebody's house, take over the payments at like 3% mortgage, you should consider that. Now you've got to understand how to structure if they've got equity, or how to figure out how to do things if they're actually behind in their payments. But I do think it's a really good opportunity and one of the best ones. I was talking to a couple people about that today, including Michael Jake in Colorado. And we were talking about that and ways to, it's interesting because with subject to deals, there's opportunities for you to be active and there's opportunities for you to be passive with like an IRA. And so one of the things I'm looking for are people that are doing quite a few subject to deals that might need some additional funding. Okay. And I talked to somebody in Florida this morning that is not on the call right now, but he's picking up a subject to deal like every 10 days right now. And he told me that over the last like 6 or 8 weeks, the conversation with sellers have dramatically changed because people who wanted to sell their homes are struggling to do so right now. And he's been picking them up both with, here's your tip, you ready? He's been picking them up both with pre-foreclosure and with failed listings, so expired listings. And that's where he's been getting most of them, that and referrals. So if you're either doing subject twos and you want to wholesale some of them, I'd have some interest. So if you're a really good operator and you're good at them, I might have some interest in working with you passively as well. See, I'm telling you guys what I'm looking for. I'm also looking for some land in Florida so I can build some more houses. I like doing that. And I'm a passive home builder with my IRA. It's a whole nother story, but it works out really well for us. Jane, that is amazing. 271 expired listings in Fredericksburg, Virginia in 1 week. So if you were a person that likes to do subject twos, you may want to go out and market to that list. Okay, I would think. Ellie, you've been doing some subject to deals over the last year as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we love sub two. We're actually also a part of William Tingle's group.
Yep.
And he specializes in sub twos. He only does sub twos, actually.
He and Pace Morby as well have huge followings. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that's why so many people are out there doing them, I think. So think about what a perfect day looks like for you. Thanks for sharing a book. If you haven't shared a book you've read, please do so. I think it would be great. I think I shared some of the opportunities I think that are coming, both with creative finance and subject to deals, that kind of thing. I also think over the last 10 days or so, I'm hearing about better deals all of a sudden. And I don't know if you guys are seeing that tweak already or not. But I am finding them from referral. I've had some pocket listings from realtors, and the deals with wholesalers, some of them have improved as well. So just kind of be aware of that. All right, so Ellie, I got to make you co-host, but can you go ahead and share what you have on PowerPoint for everybody on setting goals? I think it's important that you write down your goals. Only less than 3% of people in this world ever actually write down a goal. So I think it's important that you do that, and understanding how to do that and how far out to look and how to structure them so that you can hit your revenue, your net profit, how many rentals you're looking for, deals, things like that. So take it away.
All right, I got to unmute first. Okay. So some of y'all might have seen this on the Inner Circle call. I've actually revamped it and added some cool things.
Good.
So the question is, where do you want to be at the end of 23, right? So do I need to admit people, Jim, or can you see that?
I got it.
Okay, cool. So when we're goal setting, we actually start by quarter, right? So I have everything broken down per quarter, and then we break it down per week. So my team meets every Friday and we go over all of our goals for the week, and they all coordinate with the quarter goals, right? So then we can say, all right, are we on target for this or not? And what did last week look like compared to this week? And then we figure out, okay, if we were better last week, what did we do different from this week? And honestly, the number one thing that usually changes is being present for people. So for instance, I was sick for almost a month and it made a huge impact on our business. And let me tell you why. I don't actually run our business anymore. I have a team that runs it. And actually, I think Maria is on this call. I saw her message in the chat, but she manages the whole business. And the piece I do for the business is the growth piece. So I've gotten to the point where I'm able to work on the business and not in the business. But if I'm not present to bring new ideas and new strategies to the business to grow it, then we're stagnant. So that is the number one reason why there would be a difference of decline from week to week or month to month or quarter to quarter is whether I'm present or not. So when I say present, I mean on social media. I mean reaching out to people who have maybe reached out to me at some point, and I just needed to follow up with them because follow-up is always key. So and consistency. And when I say consistency, that's showing up on social media. And Jim is really good about that. And I guess a couple years ago now, he's the one who said, you know, you need to tell your story. You need to show up for people, because if they don't know who you are or know you even exist, then how are you going to help them? So, okay. So what's goal setting? It's a process that takes effect, right? Where you set your goals of what you figure out, what do you actually want in life? What's that number one goal that where do you want to actually end up in life? Okay. So we start with, my biggest thing is I want to live and give. So what that means to me is I want to travel with my kids now, when they get married, when they have children. I want to be able to travel with them. I want to be able to give along the way. So if we're traveling from here to California, I want to be able to also give along the way, and my kids to be able to see us do that. I want to be that example for them. So I want to be able to live and enjoy life with them and give along the way. So that's my ultimate goal. So how do I get there? What are the milestones and the little projects and goals that I need to achieve to be able to get there? And I was listening to somebody the other day, and I put this thing at the bottom. It's not just about the goal, but the process to get there. So the process is so important. And this is why. Because if you're going to make mistakes along the way, you're going to have to make adjustments along the way. And those are actually just as important as the goal that you're reaching. So the process is your steps, right? Your milestones, your tasks. So if you don't enjoy doing those things, then you're probably not actually going to end up reaching that goal. And the whole process is not always going to be fun and enjoyable, right? But you have to enjoy the whole process as a whole. All right. Not every task is going to be fun, but you need to love the reason for doing it. All right, I'll just go through this really quick. As you pursue your goals, you may find yourself facing obstacles interrupted by pressure, risk, criticism, and second guessing yourself. We all do that, right? We all end up with imposter syndrome, where we're like, can I actually really do this? You see other people doing things and you think, I'm never going to be able to get where they are. Well, just remember, they were where you are at some point. Right? They had to take those steps to get where they are now. The importance of goal setting lies in the fact that it gives direction to the journey, while also allowing for flexibility and overcoming obstacles. The objective of goal setting is to present yourself with a framework of opportunities along with the necessary planning required to pursue those opportunities. So this is a journey. This is a life journey, not just a business journey, not just a personal journey. This is a life journey. So if you think about it just for business, just to make money, that road's going to be a lot harder for you. If you think about it as, okay, this is my ultimate goal, to be able to live and give with my family. To me, it brings me so much joy to be able to work every day, because I know why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to help others, to be able to reach my goal, right? To live and give. And that's really most people's goal, is to live and give. So I'm not only just trying to reach my live and give goal, I'm helping others reach their live and give goal. So goals and dreams, we all have these goals and dreams, right? We've thought about these dreams our whole life. We've all wanted to have plenty of money to do whatever we wanted. Money is always the driver for most people. And if you know Corey and I, it's a little bit different. And I think in relationships, you either have the money person, or you have that person who's like, I don't care about money, I want to enjoy life. And when I say that, it's not that he doesn't want to enjoy life, but I put that above everything else. And that is good and that is bad, right? Because we still have bills to pay. So we have dreams. And the problem is sometimes we dream and we feel like the dream is too big. We say, I think I could see myself there one day, but you never plan for it. Every day is one day until all those days run out and you never achieve that dream. So without a plan, how do we know how to execute it? How do we know how to reach that dream? What's the vision? So these are just, very basic things on how to achieve your goals. And I'm actually going to do a goal/project breakdown. And I want you to participate in this. All right. So if you want to take notes really quick, I'll give just a second. Y'all can write this down or take a picture. All right. And I can always go back to if you need to. All right. So I'm sure a lot of people have heard this before, but Abraham Lincoln says, if you give me 6 hours to cut down a tree, I'll use 4 hours to sharpen my blade. So I do this whole 5-year plan, right? I help people build this out every day. And the thing is, we all need time to achieve goals, but you don't want to set so much time where you're wasting time, because a lot of goals can be achieved in a lot shorter time once you have a plan. But sometimes we think about these goals and we're like, oh, for instance, say we're making $5,000 a month and we want to make $50,000 a month. Well, in our mind, we might think that's going to take some time to build up to that. Well, it's only going to take as much time as you give it. Okay. We might not make it tomorrow, but you want to make those goals to where they're achievable, but you're not given too much time where you're wasting time in between, right? Okay. So, I look at this as a mountain. Once you've reached this peak, you've made it. For me, that's making it to live and give, right? When I get there, that's my live and give moment, right? And I can actually feel that in my soul when I talk about it. I know what it feels like. Like, I know when I'm with my kids on the road, I know what that moment feels like for me. And so when you figure out what that live and give goal is for you, you'll be able to feel it in your soul. That's where you want to be. And this is kind of how we just break it down, your milestones, tasks to reach your ultimate goal. And I showed you that picture of the mountain, but leveling up is rarely downhill, right? It's rarely easy. There's so many obstacles we're going to have to trek through to get there, right? So it's just making sure you have a plan and you can foresee, like, hey, I'm going to have some obstacles. Is it worth working through or not? Because if it's not worth working through, then it's probably not the right goal for you to be setting. All right. Do you track your KPIs? The KPI is key performance indicator. I did not realize how important this was in growing a business. If you cannot track from week to week, then you're not going to know what kind of progress you're making. All right. So you're going to most likely continue to make the same progress every single week, and your business will become stagnant because you actually aren't tracking or knowing whether you're doing better or worse every week. All right. So figure out what you should be tracking. For instance, investors, if you're making cold calls, sending text messages, emails, mailers, keep track of how many mailers you're sending, how many calls you're making, how many texts are going out, how many are converting from that. We even track how many do not calls we get, how many stops we get, wrong numbers. We track all of that. A reason why we do this is because we can also test our data sources this way. So if we're getting a lot of do not calls or a lot of wrong numbers from a certain data source, then we'll switch it up because we know data does this all the time. So maybe we'll go back to that data source at another time, but right now, maybe it's just not as accurate as it was the month before. That's why it's important to keep these KPIs. Saves you some money too. All right, activity. What's that number one project or goal you want to achieve for this quarter? All right. Do you have the capacity to do this, to actually achieve this? If not, what are you going to give up for it? And a lot of people, including myself, do not like giving up things because most things that we're doing right now is our comfort zone. So what are you going to give up to be able to reach this goal? Next is, when are you going to complete this goal? Remember what Abraham Lincoln says, if you give me 6 hours to cut down a tree, I'm going to sharpen my blade for 4. So how long is it going to take you to complete this goal? Then the goal that you have or the project that you have that you want to complete, and this could be a rehab project. Create a brain dump. Every thought, every idea, everything you have that you think that it's going to take to finish this project or reach this goal, write it all down on paper. Once you do that, I want you to create a timeline. So all of these, your brain dump, right beside everything you've written down, I want you to put down what's important. What are the first things that need to be done? And then, so you're going to prioritize them, and then you're going to put a date beside them when you're going to do them. When you reach the milestones, all right, so you have milestones and tasks. So the milestones are the little goals that you reach to get to these, to your ultimate goal, right? Or complete your project. When you reach these milestones, make sure you're celebrating them. That is so important, because the thing is, we'll go through life and reach our goals and milestones, and then we never appreciate the fact that we did that. So number 6, break your milestones down into tasks, which is what I was just talking about. And then what will you track and how will you track your progress? So now that I've gone through that, what is your excuse to not crush this goal or project? Why are you not going to do it? You have all the steps. Hopefully you've written down that goal. So make sure you don't let those excuses get in the way for not doing it. Oops. So just to finish up the goal setting stuff, what does your perfect day look like? All right. This is the part that this is what you're working towards, is thinking about what that perfect day looks like and doing it. So us as business owners, we tend to leave our 9 to 5, build a business, and end up working 15 hours a day plus. Why did we leave at 9 to 5 to begin with? Always for freedom. Always. We picture this business that we've created. We can go out to lunch with our friends. We can talk on the phone with them. Well, I'm a woman, so we talk on the phone with them, and we can do all these extra things that we couldn't do when we worked a 9 to 5. But guess what? We don't end up doing any of that. All right. We just let all the tasks, we don't delegate. We end up trying to control everything in our business. What does the perfect day look like to you? And can you picture it? What does it look like to be at the top of that mountain? What is that moment when you say, I think we made it? What does that moment look like to you? And it should bring tears to your eyes. What legacy are you leaving behind for the ones you're climbing the mountains? What is the legacy you're leaving behind for the ones you are climbing, that are climbing those mountains for? So the legacy for me is I want to live and give. So living and giving to me, like I said, means living, enjoying my life, enjoying our life with our kids, and giving along the way. My legacy I'm leaving behind is I want them to do the same for their children. And I want them to show their children how to give along the way. I'm not leaving them money. I'm leaving them experience, and I'm leaving them an example to leave for their children, to show their children how to do the same. Because we know we can leave behind money, but what money can go so quickly if you don't show them what to do with it. Money means nothing if people don't know how to use it. When you are building out your business and creating these goals, are you planning personal time? And what I mean by this is we all have a bucket list. We all have things we want to do. Are you planning those? Or are they just a dream? Because I feel like a lot of our bucket list items are dreams, and we never put them on the calendar. So when you're planning your goals and your daily tasks and your to-dos and your calendars, these all need to be on your calendars. Do you enjoy what you're doing? Because if not, you're not going to appreciate or even enjoy the process along the way. It's going to be really hard to reach that goal if you don't enjoy what you're doing or have those butterflies when you think of the goal that you're ultimately trying to reach. All right. And that's my goal setting stuff. Do I have any questions?
So, yeah. So do you want to try to take somebody's goal for the first quarter and talk through this? What do you think, Allie?
Yeah, let's do it.
Anybody have, you can have results or excuses, or if you lose your excuses, you'll find your results. But
I love that.
Be bold to give us one of your goals for the first quarter of this year. What is something you really want to achieve? And we'll just talk through the list Allie had and see if we can help you. So I talked earlier about some of the great opportunities with subject to deals and creative financing. All right, Sharon, great. Do you want to unmute?
Hey.
Hey, all right, Allie, ask your questions.
All right, great job, Allie. I love that.
So what is your first quarter goal?
To close a deal. So I did put together a 90-day plan. So I guess I'm kind of looking for reassurance and any tweaking before I get too far into it. So I just started marketing to secessions, pre-foreclosures, and divorces from the clerk of court's office. So for example, on Mondays, I'll pull 5 leads from one list, and then I will because it's just me doing it. So to stay ahead of things, I'll skip trace them myself, and then I'll text and then look them up on Facebook if there's anything on there, and I'll message them that way. And then the following day I'll do the same. And then the third day I'll send a letter. And then I do that with each one of them. So one day I'll work on, say, divorces, go through the process. Second day I'll work on pre-foreclosures, and then so on and so forth.
What kind of deal are you trying to close in the first quarter, Sharon?
Something that can make me significant money.
Without playing lottery tickets. I got it. Okay. So that would be a wholesale deal or a flip, right?
Ideally a wholesale deal, so I can start
Okay.
generating solid money,
All right.
and eventually maybe get back into that.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ellie. I'll let you take it away.
You said you're sending texts out to 5 people on Mondays.
So five people on Monday, but it's the 5 individual people, but it's multiple phone numbers through that. It's like if I get, say, 6 phone numbers for that one person, I'll send it to those people.
Okay. Have so many questions about this.
Okay.
Are you sending it from your personal phone number?
No, call rail.
Okay, cool. Good answer. And why only 5 leads a day?
To be able to keep up with it myself.
What would happen, Sharon, if you did 100 a day?
I don't know if I can mentally keep up with that, because I'm doing 5 a day, but I'm also here. Let me get my calendar. Hold on. That way my brain's not going all over the place. So for example,
Are you
It-
manually sending them?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's
So-
the start.
So,
So like,
just,
oh, go ahead.
just to help you with this little piece right here. I do have a CRM, but there are most CRMs, have basically the same features. You can upload your contacts, set up an automation to where you do not touch that lead until they're interested. And what I mean by that is right now you're sending it to 5 people a day because you're managing every single step.
Yeah.
You
So
should
I'm
not be
doing-
doing that.
Yeah, I'm doing 25 total leads a week. And then as they snowball, then I'm trying to keep up with the letters or the responses or things like that.
Mhm.
But I'm doing it all manually because of finances.
Yeah, so you should not be doing that.
Yeah.
You're actually spending okay, another question. What is your time worth?
Everything.
So you said because of finances, which I totally understand budget. I mean, I completely understand budget. But you also have to think about what your time is worth. So if there's other money-making tasks you could be doing instead of sending out those messages and managing every step of that process, you should probably look into something that can manage that until you have an interested lead, because your job is closing that interested lead, not managing it.
Okay. Well,
And Sharon, tell everybody what market you're in as well.
I'm 30 miles north of New Orleans in Louisiana.
All right.
So this is my recommendation for that. And this is kind of a little bit off of goal setting, but has to do with time management. Find a CRM. Like I said, we have one, but there's other CRMs if that doesn't work for you. Set up an automation to where when you have a list of leads, you can upload it. It sends out an automatic message. If they reply, wrong number, not interested, leave me alone, it moves them automatically to mailer and sends them a mailer.
Okay.
If they reply interested, then it goes into your stage, and those are the ones you follow up with.
Okay.
That way you're not managing every single thing with one lead at a time.
Yeah.
You can send out hundreds a day, because out of hundreds, you're going to get a couple interested leads.
Okay.
That way you're able to manage a couple interested leads versus leads that might not be interested, and you're just going back and forth with them. They're
Yeah.
either interested or they're not.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, and now I just have to figure out the how. So I'd love to talk with you more about yours, because I remember you providing information on yours at one point, which was very interesting to me, but I would like to know more about it, because I've utilized CRMs and things like that, and then I backed off of it, the expense of it, but I would like to know about it to understand.
So is this the brain dump
Nah, not
that
at
we're
all.
doing here?
Yes,
You have to unmute again, Ally, sorry. There you go.
Yeah, this is a brain dump,
Okay,
because this is like breaking down what you should and shouldn't be doing to be able to achieve this goal. And you're, right now, sending five messages a day,
it's not enough.
it's not enough.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I brought this up.
Let me give you an example. So I always use Corey because he doesn't mind me telling his business, and he markets in rural areas. So please keep that in mind. But he markets 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Every day he sends between 250 and 500 messages a day. Out of that, he gets one interested lead. And when I say interested, one that's actually truly interested. Those are rural areas. If you are marketing in Richmond City, you're going to get one interested lead a month. And when I say interested, I mean a qualified lead that you could potentially close. That's the difference.
So, and then if you're in like Tampa, it might be like you need to do 1,000 a day.
Yeah,
Every market's a little different.
exactly. So that's why I always like to say he markets in rural, and that's why he
Yes.
does get that. But I'm just trying to give you an example of what those numbers look like. If you're sending 250 to 500 a day to Richmond City, you're going to get one interested lead for the month.
Okay.
But that's my point to you, is 5 a day is most likely not going to get you to your goal.
Okay.
And you doing it manually is taking you a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been.
Is that helpful to everyone? Even just thinking through that automation process? Good. Sharon, is there anything else you wanted to bring up?
No, that's been my main focus for the week, is that's what I've been doing. So other than that, I'd love to know should I just message you and see when we can talk more about it, or what's the best way to look into your?
We're gonna hit more on the CRM in a little bit.
And I'll get Maria to put my calendar link in the chat too.
Good idea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think if you're gonna do that many, cold calls or texting every day, then you've got to get good at either the DIY building your own list and skip tracing it, or you've got to buy data. And buying data is the easier route for that now. Jennifer, you're on here. If you want to put the link of your guys' new website on there, go ahead. Because it's a great way.
I highly recommend Jen. She's
Just
great.
go out and buy the data is the way I would do it now. Rick Tobin has got a question on the do not call part of that, because he's worried about getting a $40,000 fine. Do you have any info on that?
First of all, even if they're not on the do not call list, you can get charged for it. So yes, you don't want to be messaging people on do not call list, but even if they're not on that list, you can still get in big trouble. So it's really the risk you take. Now, if you want to go on Zillow and pull all the for sale by owners off of there, they already posted their numbers. So then you don't have to worry about that.
So let me give a couple tips on that one, okay, for everybody. I do like for sale by owners, and Zillow is a good place to go, but why not call all the for rent by owners also?
That's a great idea.
And while you're in there, why don't you just go to gosection8.com and contact every landlord in your market as well, because all their phone numbers are posted also. Let's go section8.com. Okay, so there's a lot of different things you can do without having to worry about that. In my
Another
opinion.
thing is,
Facebook Marketplace is another. I mean, we can go on and on.
if you get your email out there to the wholesalers, which if you put your email on Real Estate Investor Network just once or twice, you're going to get 50 emails. but those are free leads. And even if they're sending them to you like way overpriced, send them an offer. Ask Anne Marie. Her and I were sending offers to all of the wholesale emails we got, and people were coming back accepting them, and we were putting in offers at 40%. So just keep that in mind. Those are free leads coming to you.
It does work.
Oh, there we go. Anne Marie, how are
Yes, she
you?
is.
Do you have an
Good,
example?
Jen, how are
Anne
you?
Marie? You're like popping out. Yeah, tell us more.
Well, there's not much more to say than what Allie said, because I mean, she's right. If you put the offer out there, people are going to accept it. So the more offers you make, the more you get accepted.
So when I was buying a lot of houses, Allie, and I would make one good offer every day. It's not hard to do. It's pretty easy to make one offer a day. One solid offer. But nowadays with technology and stuff, you could easily make that 5 offers a day or more if you really wanted to. You could do a
Definitely.
couple off the MLS, a couple with wholesalers, a couple for sale by owner direct, and you're there.
And you
if
can partner with someone, you know, like Anne Marie and I were doing. You could partner with somebody and split it 50-50.
Yes, I know 2 wholesalers in 2 different markets that basically don't do any of their own marketing. They basically just JV with other wholesalers. They've got the buyers, they've got the deals, and bada bing, bada bang. So those things you can do. It's good points. So okay, we'll come back to systems, CRMs, all that stuff in just a minute. Yes, Andrea, that's my primary Facebook group, Real Estate Investor Network. Yeah, code deal sourcing. I like that, David. I like that. Thanks for joining us from the beautiful UK as well. It's great to have you guys. Let's see, Tracy or somebody said earlier, their #1 goal for the first quarter would be to do a Burr. I don't remember who that was, but you can unmute if you'd like to talk about it. So let's talk about that real quick here as another example. So that was wholesaling with Sharon outside of New Orleans. Somebody said they want to do their first Burr. They want to buy a rental. Actually, I sent an email out yesterday with training on how to do your first rental for the year. It's straight out of our inner circle group. Yes, I will send you the link. I'm recording it and I'll send it to everyone. All right, so Allie, say somebody says, all right, I want to buy my first rental. We're in January. By the end of March, I want to have my first one. How would you start to break that down, brain dump that, and get out there and do that?
What are you doing right now to do that?
I'm not sure because it wasn't me. I bought lots of rentals. Let's say
Yeah, I didn't know if
they're
she was
just sort
on.
of getting, let's say
I didn't know
they've
if she was
never
on.
done one before and they've done nothing up to this point.
Yeah, so so they've done nothing. We're starting from
Let's
scratch.
just assume.
Hey Jim, I'll step into this arena.
Awesome. Take it away.
Yeah, so that I would say I'm right there with
Good.
you,
Yeah,
Jim.
Mike, there you go. All right, let's do it, Mike.
Me and Jeff talked a little bit about this. Yeah, I am at go if we're playing Monopoly. So what I'm doing right now is purely education, joining Inner Circle that I just did on Tuesday, partaking in these types of events, meetups, talks to try to figure out where to go from here. I've talked to a few people that have recommended to start with finding some private money, some capital. So when I do find that deal, I could take off. But I'm just right at the beginning. So.
All right.
Okay, we got a bunch of people right there. All
I
right.
think it's the same kind of strategy. Like budget is, always something to start with. And then what can you do with your budget? So, some people have a budget of $100 and some people have a budget of $5,000. So I think, give me an example of what you'd want to spend a month to get where your first Burr. Just give me an example.
Let's say he doesn't want to spend anything.
Okay, say you didn't want to spend anything. All right.
Then you've got to have people bring you deals.
Exactly. So I would say go on Facebook and go into Real Estate Investor Network. Search
You
cash.
like my group, don't you, Allie?
I love it.
All right.
Search cash. pull up all the posts of people who have said, I have deals looking for cash buyers, and put your email in there. Even if they're old, because it's going to bring that post back to the top and regenerate it. So people can see it, and they're
So
going
if
to
you're
start.
looking to buy a house, why are you searching for posts about people looking for cash buyers? Just tell
If you're-
everyone. Yeah.
Because that's what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to buy.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm not
Yeah.
disagreeing.
Yeah.
So all you do is you go into a Facebook group like mine. There's a little, is it a magnifying glass?
Yep. That's right.
And all right, hang on. Let me just do it here real quick to make sure everyone's got it. Okay, 1 second. Oh, here it is. Okay, cool. This is when I was grabbing the link for Allie. So can everybody see this? You see it, Allie?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So Allie, you're saying click on this magnifying glass and type cash buyer.
You can
Like
just
that.
type in cash, really. But yeah,
Okay.
cash buyer's fine.
Oh, look at this one's for Sharon. Louisiana. Okay. So now all my own stuff comes up. Do you have, and then, but you need like Virginia, don't you?
Not necessarily. I would just
Okay.
start putting my email address out there.
Okay.
If you have nothing,
There's
if
a
you're
lot of
starting with
these.
nothing, put it out there. You can even post, just put a post in Real Estate Investor Network
That's what I would do too.
with your email address. Add me to your buyers list.
Yeah. I like that
This
idea.
is where I like to buy.
Oh,
It just might not get seen as much. So you want to get, so you might want to, put your post out there and then
I'd
go
like
to
buy
all
this
of these
duplex
posts.
right here. You think I'm too late? I'd like duplexes in Central Florida. I'm a duplexaholic.
Well, it was just in December.
I know. So there's a lot here. Okay. So leverage groups. Got it.
That's right.
So one question I do have, Tracy, you hit on it too. She asked, so if we don't have cash, we still want to say we do,
Don't worry about that.
because that's where I'm working
All right.
towards now, the network.
Yeah, that's a self-limiting belief. So
Yeah.
you don't have to have your own cash. You need to have access to cash.
But if you're wholesaling,
He's buying a rental.
oh, that's right, Burr. That's right. We're doing Burrs. Okay.
So
gotcha.
you need to either have cash or you need to have access to cash. And cash is very readily available between both hard money lenders and private money lenders. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of people on Zoom right now that like to lend as well. So don't let that hold you back.
And there's so many other different strategies you can use too.
Yeah.
Like you can ask somebody if they'd be interested in financing it for a little while for you. There's so many different strategies you can use to not have to bring all the money to the table.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I'm learning now. Y'all brought it up earlier, was the subject to or seller financing, since with the
Mhm.
market now. So I think Burr has been really pitched around refinancing with banks, if you go on the internet. But
A little more difficult than it was. Michael Jake, can you unmute? I see you're on. If you're on, can you? Okay, so Michael Jake, we were talking like an hour ago about subject to deals. I told you when I called you on the phone, I think it's the best opportunity of the year coming up. Do you have any tips on how to start off in subject to investing?
Well, learn the process first so you don't make a mess of things. Step one, but
Mhm.
I mean, we're coming into a marketplace where you got to look at, you're going to be able to find a lot of opportunities where the house might not necessarily be on sale, but the debt is. I mean, if you look at rates right now, the debt
I love
is.
the way you said that.
Well, you can look at the right now price of a deal, or you can look at, for somebody that's looking for a BRR example, it's like, what are you going to pay overall for that property over the course of your ownership? If you can cut 50% off the interest expense or 75% off the interest expense by taking over an existing loan, you don't have to do the typical BRR. You can just take over an asset that has debt that is 30, 40, 50, 60% off what current rates are for non-owner occs. When you're doing a BRR, it's an investment property. It's it's going to get harder and harder as we go into a recession to get non-owner occupied debt, even if you have fantastic credit. Whereas you could go find somebody that has a good property that doesn't need renovation, that has a circumstance. It's not a property problem. It's a personal circumstance problem. And if you get good at finding those, like you're not looking for houses as much as you're looking for the right kind of property you want to buy with the right kind of debt already on it. And then a subset of those people are like, and let me circle back to Sharon and Sharon, how are you? I remember you from Dealmaker. You know, texting a foreclosure list is my experience says it is a lesson in hardship. Like I had, if you're not the first person there to knock on somebody's door when they get on that list, you're probably going to struggle. Like you're going to be years deep at 5 per week to find a deal in that, unless you're way more aggressive at contacting that person, getting on the phone physically or knocking on the door immediately. You want to kind of be Ricky Bobby with the foreclosure list. You want to be first or you want to be last. You want to be first when it comes on the list for the people that are proactive, and you want to be last, meaning right before everything else that they thought was going to work out in their favor doesn't. You want to be there right before the actual foreclosure date and look to make a deal then. But that aside, there's so many more people out there that aren't on some easy list that you can pound them based on the debt. Like listability, you can go in by zip code. You can, I mean, there's probably other ones, but
You love direct mail. That's always been your bread and butter, right?
Yeah.
It still works.
Oh yeah. I mean, texting and these things are cheaper, but you know, the fact that like I literally have a stack from all our rental properties, and I recently removed it, but I mean, I get direct mail like all the time.
Save it.
And it's amazing how few people repeat the process. I mean, if you know direct mail, a lot of your sales are made on the 5th to 9th contact, yet people mail once and, oh, I didn't buy a deal, so I guess it doesn't work. I mean, it does work great. And if you're the only one that's consistent with a farm area, I don't know. I always did fantastic marketing to houses that I wanted to buy with the debt I wanted to take over in neighborhoods that, well, granted, you're not going to know this when you first start, but I tracked every flip, every wholesale, and every terms deal I did and studied where I get the best bang for the buck on my marketing. And
KPIs.
you know, focus in on that. And anyway.
And can you, I know like the person that you've worked with a lot in Colorado is going to do her training next weekend. Can you post that into like the chat box for everybody?
It's actually on my name here.
You do, or post it into my real estate group, maybe something, or text it to me and I'll post it. It's fine. But because you do need to learn that process, it is important. What do you, okay, so I shared with you guys what I think some of the great opportunities coming up are. I think creative real estate's coming back, and I think that subject to deals are really going to be really good because you can go back, like you said, buy the debt. Don't, you know, focus more on the debt than the house. If you can buy a house that's been amortizing for a few years and it's at 3.5% or 2.8%, you can't go to the bank and get that deal today. That is for sure. Or if you're negotiating directly with a seller, you might be able to get 0% interest. I love it when that happens. So don't be afraid to go out there and make creative real estate deal making is back this year. Allie, you have anything else you want to add on that one?
No, I think that was great.
I do too. Michael, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. That was a wealth of knowledge. Sorry, my fingers.
No,
are
you're
sore
good. You're
and
good.
everything.
So a lot of people earlier were asking about CRMs, and Ellie actually innovated a CRM almost a year ago. I don't know, something like that. It's called Finish Green, like on the back of her thing. Ellie, could I put you on the spot and ask you to like share a live demo on how it works and tell everybody like how much it is as well?
Sure.
I'd love to help you with this. And I think it'll help a lot of people understand like processes and systems. Because if you're gonna scale and automate and do it yourself marketing and not rely on wholesalers, realtors all the time, then you really need a good process to do it. And this is the one I really love.
So I'm not sure how much time we have, so I'm going to go over some really important pieces of this. So like I always say, all CRMs have the same basics, right? You can store contacts. You can usually call and text now through them. So ours, we have set up to where you can do that stuff, but you can also do your social media marketing through there. We have automations that come with the system. Actually one of the ones I was talking about, with Sharon about when you don't touch the lead until they're an interested lead, which the goal with this, with our whole system is we don't want you to do busy work. We want you to do the things you should be doing in your business, right? Which is closing deals if you're an investor, right? So, this is Corey's account.
Oh,
Course.
good.
Okay. So, we have a dashboard.
I think Allie, it's neat that you can do this because a lot of people hear CRM and stuff and they've never really seen one or how it works or what the value is. So thanks for letting me put you on the spot there.
Yeah, and I'm actually gonna disclose some information really quick about this. I've built this off of High Level. So a lot of you probably see that it looks similar, right, to a High Level account. Because it's built off of High Level, but High Level gives you the basic CRM, just like Podio or, any of the other CRMs. And then you can integrate whatever, whatever you help people with, right? So we've integrated Rehab Valuator. We have Prop Stream in here. We're working on an electronic signature integration. So you built it out how you want. So, and that's what we've done. We also have a support team that works Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And that's actually what people love the most about our system is that we set it up for you. And then you can hop on Zoom support at any time and ask questions. And depending on what plan you're on, you could be on Zoom support all day long if you wanted to be. So, and it's really cool. I take pride in that piece for sure. All right. So I'm going to go down to automations because that seems to be a big thing for all of us, right? To be able to automate our business to where we're not working in it, especially if you don't have the funds yet to pay someone to come in and manage your business, right? So automations kind of help step in until you're able to build a team out that can help manage your business. So this is kind of what I was talking about, the automation with Sharon. So when a lead gets uploaded here, it gets an automatic message. Now you can upload one lead or you can upload 1,000 leads. Okay. So once they reply, it goes here. If they don't reply, it goes here. It waits 2 days and sends them a text message. If they still don't reply, it sends them an email. Now I'm going to talk about emails real quick because emails sound crazy to get leads. Well, when I set the email up, it wasn't to get leads. It was to stay out in front of people and be present, right? It was just another way for them to see that you're legitimate. All right. We've actually gotten closed 2 deals off emails. So keep that in mind.
Right.
All right. So 2 days later, and I think Dawn and Anne Marie have too.
Awesome.
2 days later, you send an email, right? So 2 days later, it'll automatically send them a mailer. All right. And then you can set up your drip however you want, but that's how this is set up. So it breaks down these replies from not interested, stop, DNC, like leave me alone, wrong number. A suggestion I always talk about with wrong numbers is make sure you set up an automated message that goes out when somebody says you have the wrong number. Make sure your message says, I am so sorry I bothered you. Please forgive me. I will take you off my follow-up list.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great tip. So the way your CRM is set up for finding deals then is you get the data, you upload it, and the first thing you do is text.
That's how this one is set up. Yes.
Okay.
But like there's some other members that they send mailers first.
Yeah.
Or they'll
like
send
Michael.
emails first. So you can set it up however you want. But the automations that come with this that's how it's set up in that order, text first.
The
email.
example you've got here, though, is first a text, then an email, and then it looks like a yellow letter or a postcard.
That's right.
Okay.
And that's automated. So once it hits that stage, it automatically sends out a letter.
I love automation.
Yes.
It allows you to scale.
Yes.
So okay, so you get the data, you upload it, it sends a text. You suggested doing like 500 per day, 500 records per day, right?
Yeah.
And then out of that, then they'll either reply, and that'll lead to one warm lead every day. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Depending on the market, depending on
Yeah,
the
I
market.
understand.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand. And
But
then
for Corey, that's how his.
okay, and then it'll send him an email, and then you go to direct mail. Is that the end of the sequence?
That's the end of this pipeline.
All right.
So then they go into a drip if we don't hear from them again.
Okay.
They go into a follow-up drip, because remember, follow-up
What
is
is-
key.
It is. And, Michael made a great point that it takes, sometimes half a dozen contacts to get your deal. Are you seeing that as well?
Yeah, listen, we followed up. We've just closed a deal. We followed up for over a year, and then we just closed another deal that we've been following up with for over 2 years. So consistency and follow-up, those are key for sure. I think it's worked well for us. So, anyway, so we have this automation comes with this CRM. There's also a couple more as well, but I'll show you what they look like. Just what an automation built out looks like. And I'm not going through the whole system right now, just because I know this is really a key thing for people, especially if you're not interested in hiring a team right now, or you're just not, you want to hire a team, you're just not there yet. So this is what the automation I just told you about, this is what it looks like built out. Like there's a lot of time, a lot of thought that's gone into this automation, and we continue to add on to this stuff as well. Like, because we just added the automated mailers. So that's something that we've just added in here as well. So for instance, the pipeline is the lead outreach pipeline. New lead uploaded was the stage. It's going to assign your lead manager, or you, whoever that is. Now you can set up automated tasks to go to you as well. So for instance, if you have a property that goes to under contract, there's a lot of tasks that have to happen, right, to get it all closed. Number one, you send the contract to the title company. Number two, you set up inspections. Number three, you want to get reviews from all of your contractors, whoever they are, your title company, your buyer, your seller, your inspector. Make sure you're getting reviews from all of those people, because these leads that you're messaging are looking you up on Google.
Yes, they are.
So set up a simple landing page. It doesn't have to be a big built out website. Set up a simple landing page so people know. Landing pages, I mean, scammers, like, they can build out a landing page too, but for some reason people think you're legit if you have a website. So even a simple landing page, just have it so they can look you up.
They'll find you on social media too.
Yeah,
So they
definitely.
will look.
Yeah, and also you can send your reviews from here. Actually, you can send your reviews straight to your website. You can actually have it trigger on positive reviews. So when they do look up your website, they see your positive reviews. But I think getting reviews from everybody you work with is really important. And then you can build websites on here. There's tons of templates. Like I said, you can set your marketing up. I'll kind of show you what Corey's looks like. He has a whole team that does this for him. So you can see his properties and stuff that's set up already, and it just goes out on its own. He doesn't have to touch it. And like I said, we have, let me see if I can find Rehab Valuator on here. So we have Rehab Valuator. You can actually pull up PropStream on here. Reporting. This is important for me. So call reporting is something that I follow regularly. So if my team is answering calls and I see that we have missed calls, number one, I want to know if they were missed on their shift. And number two, I want to know if they were called back. Right. So that's important to me. If they didn't call on their shift, I want to make sure they were called back when they do come back to their shift. Another thing is this records the calls. And so if you're on the road and you answer a call and you can't stop to take notes, your lead manager can either listen to your call and take the notes for you later, or you can go back and listen to the call later and take the notes and then do your research.
So Nicole is asking if you do RVMs as well, ringless voicemails.
We don't right now. We do not have that set up right now.
All right. Who else has a question on a CRM? How much is it, Ellie?
So we're actually, okay, so right now we have two options, but we're actually, I think it might go live today. We're adding on a third option. So the first option, we would have a starter, which would be $25 a month. It would come with your contacts tab. It would come with, they would set up your phones and your emails. So you'd be able to keep your contacts, call, email, and you'd have your phone app. So that's $25 a month. Now, our second one is $99 a month. And that is our independent plan. That comes with Zoom support. And that comes with, let's see, contacts, calendars, websites. Oh, you can also have unlimited users on here too, as well. So you have unlimited websites, unlimited users, unlimited calendars. Let me give you an idea of a calendar, what your calendars can look like. So if you do like dispositions, we used to do 80 dispositions a month. So what we would do is set up a calendar for each property. And when somebody was interested in a property and they wanted to go see it, we would send them the calendar link. They would submit a showing time. Then they would get an automatic text message that gave them a list of the things we needed before we could give them the code to the property. So we actually didn't manage that until we were ready to give them the code. So we had to make sure they were, gave us all the information we needed.
So that's how you handled your wholesaling showings for buyers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 80
You didn't just
properties
give them
is a
the
lot.
keys to the house, huh?
Yeah, well, 80 properties is a lot to manage. And so just to be able to give them access to the calendar links for whatever property, they could just click on the property and it would give them the calendar link. So we didn't even manage that part. They just clicked on the property, scheduled when they wanted to go, and then they'd get an automatic text message. And if they sent us the stuff, then we manually went through the stuff before we gave them the code to the house.
And then the third level?
The third level is the growth plan. Now, all three levels, we do a weekly coaching call as well for this. So like we go over new things to do, ways to use it, different automations you can use. We go over some business strategy stuff. The third level is $299. And that comes with unlimited Zoom support, unlimited, like we'll help you build out workflows. We help you with really anything that you need in the system. And you get all new integrations. So anything new we add to the system you get, and then you get all the updates that we do.
So is that the one you need to get all the marketing? Because I love the marketing pieces here. The automated marketing I like.
Let me look, because I don't know that the answer.
What's included with the setup fees is what Sharon is asking.
So we charge $150 to set up your CRM, and then you don't get charged for your CRM till the following month. So it's $150. We set up, we'll any contacts you send us, or we'll help you, because a lot of times, we don't really know how to use these CRMs. So we'll help you export your leads and make sure they're tagged correctly to be able to import them into your new system. And then we'll also test your email and we'll test your text messaging to make sure everything's working properly.
Okay, and so somebody asked a minute ago, I don't remember who it was, if they had a goal of doing 500 text messages per day, which level CRM would they need? And how much would it cost to do that many texts per day? Because then you got to also buy the data as well. Maybe we could show how to buy the data in a minute.
Oh, yeah, Jen, that would be a great one for
Jennifer, are
her.
you still on? But then just kind of talk through like, what would it look like if the goal was to do, 500 texts, put them into that funnel where it's 500 texts, and then you follow up with an email, and then you go to direct mail or whatever.
So
What's it
that would
really
be the
look like?
$99 option.
Wow, that's a deal.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Jim, what were you saying? I was messaging Don Corbett. I apologize, and then I heard my name.
Hey, in a minute, I want to talk about data. If you could share your screen.
Yeah,
and show us a couple things
absolutely.
in just a minute. So, Allie, I mean, that's really cheap. So that's level 2, and you get
That's
all
level
that.
2. That's
I'm-
the
I
independent
didn't
plan.
know that. Okay.
And we call it that because you don't get full Zoom support. You get like 15 minutes a day of Zoom support. And then the full Zoom support comes with the growth plan.
Okay, so, but then you got to pay for the text messaging and the direct mail separate, right?
Yes, yes. And if anybody's interested, I can send you we have all the price breakdowns
Yeah.
for what text costs, what emails cost, what mailers cost, what every service we have
Put your
costs.
link in there. They click through, but you can put your calendar link in too if you
Yep.
want.
Yep. I don't know if Maria's still on or not, but I will go ahead and do that now.
Yeah, everyone wants the price break. Yeah. Okay, so that was good. Anyone have any questions? We've talked a lot about acquisitions, less about financing. I want to talk about data. In the past, I used to always build my own data. I would build my own list with ListSource or PropStream and that kind of thing. But nowadays, you don't have to do like all that heavy lifting if you don't want, and you have automation on the marketing. So I think if I were leaving corporate America today and I wanted to do it with wholesaling, this is how I would do it. I would buy the data, and then I would use Finish Green as my CRM, and I would automate all of that. But back in the day, I used to do everything manually. I used to do tons and tons of direct mail, and my kids were in junior high school or high school, and they would help me put the stamps on, and I would mail merge and print my labels. Michael, do you remember those old days? Like we started at the same time.
Yeah.
It was not as easy as it is today.
Yeah, A, it's easier to get data. B, it's easier to find a printer
Yeah.
that will merge. We used to do the very elaborate CRM backed mailing campaigns, and then we kind of drifted into just bigger lists, merged mailings, and like a kind of a junky marketing always worked better for me. It's hard to see this because I've got the blurry background thing, but like unprofessional looking merged mailer, personalized headline, one response mechanism. Like there's very certain things you can do, but
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to have my hands tied and pick one way to generate leads for the rest of my life, it would be direct mail.
Yeah. Well, look,
because-
you created financial freedom with direct mail. Let's be honest, right?
Yep.
So
Well, all the other
yeah.
things work. Like I've never done texting. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly that works, and that works very well. But I kind of retired from the active part
Yeah.
of this business about 5 years ago.
I know you did.
And now I just IRA invest. So I got to teach other people how to do this business so I can keep my IRA dollars working.
Well, that's the point of your training this week. And I posted that link a couple times, so I'm going to post it again. All right, Jennifer, I want to move to you for a second and talk about data, because you and Allie JV'd on a website for data. You could go ahead and, I'm going to make you co-host. All right, now you're co-host. I'm pulling everybody in. We're just making the stuff up as we go. Not really making it up. I'd like to think I'm targeting what I feel the Zoom audience wants. Is that a better way of saying making it up as I go? We try to make it about you guys. So go ahead and share what you've been doing and how data works and where it comes from and how you build a list and that kind of thing a little bit, Jennifer.
Yes, sir. So whenever you're looking at other data source companies, they're usually a lot more expensive. And the reason why, I mean, guys, the profit margins on data are huge. So we cut that profit margin way down. So there's some bigger ones out there. I think, like, for example, PropStream is one that I used for years and years, and I do think it integrates nicely, but I think they charge like, I think it's,
Expensive.
it is very expensive. I can't remember what the prices were. I looked
I've
this
used
morning.
it as well.
And I think they charge, I think it was like 1,200 or something to have 10,000 skip traced. We do $300 for 10,000 to be skip traced and pulled. So whenever you're doing high volume, whenever you get to a level of doing high volume, those savings really compound into more and more deals. So we are geared to help not only the people who are just beginning keep their overhead low, but also for these companies that are already doing high volume, making sure that they keep their overhead low as they go to a much higher volume. And the way we're able to do that is we pull a few million records per month. So based on that economies of scale, we have our cost basis just as low as PropStream does, but we make sure, and instead of gouging everyone and becoming rich, we have a very modest lifestyle that we enjoy so that we can help
I think
others.
you should increase your prices. Come on. All right.
Well, we
So-
do have more expensive options if people
Well, I
want
like
premium
stacked leads.
stack.
So tell us a little bit about stacked leads. I always say stack them high.
Yeah, so what we can do with the stacked leads, right? So here's a concern people bring to me often. Hey, Jen, if I'm marketing in the same market over and over again, how do I make sure that I'm not just marketing to the same people? Well, all you have to do is let me know, and we build that into our stacked leads price, and we will keep a master list of all of the orders that you've done previously, and my team will check manually or automatically, depending on where you pull, if you have pulled those leads before. So that's a relatively newer feature because of demand. So we love hearing from you guys what you're looking for. We know that in order to be competitive, we have to listen to what people need and what they want. So we're always listening, guys. And one thing we've heard is that with the stack leads, we need to make sure that we're not pulling the same ones over and over again. So with the stacked, is you love, Jim, you like to stack those motivations high and deep.
I love it. Where the best
So-
deals are, John.
That's exactly right. So let's say you want to look for pre-foreclosure, tax liens, and high equity at the same time, right? Let's say you want to stack all three of those variables. Well, if you order at least 10,000, we can get you a price of 5 cents, pulled and skip traced. Guys, you will not find a deal like this anywhere else that I know of. If you hear of it, please let me know so that I can do an affiliate with them. And then if it's less than 10,000, then we do 8 cents per lead. And so I really like those Section 8 lists. If you have no budget, I always want to accommodate folks who have absolutely no budget. Jim mentioned that Section 8 list. And let me tell you, I'm not trying to drive away my own business, but there's only so much Section 8 you can do. But if you're just starting out, I want you to hit those Section 8 lists because that's where I do the most deals. And it's only whenever I exhaust those that I then go to my own data. Guys, I'm both a consumer and a user of my own data, both in commercial and residential. I'm in 13 different markets. So if you're, like Ali said, if you're in that many markets, you're going to have a difference in the return on your marketing. And that's going to make a huge difference. So also, if you're just starting out, I recommend maybe going into those tertiary, secondary markets so that you're getting a higher cash on cash return. Going back to Michael Jake's point about making his IRA money work for him. Do you want a lower cash on cash return or a higher cash on cash return if you're just starting? Do you care more about cash flow or do you care more about equity whenever you're first starting, right? I know that whenever I was first starting, cash flow was definitely more what I cared about. So think about which markets you're pulling in, think about how many variables you want to stack. And if you have no money at all, please start with the Section 8 list because you're going to get so many deals off of those. I can't tell you how many people are grateful that I called. Instead of getting cussed out on the Section 8 list, I have people telling me that they prayed for me to call them. So call those Section 8 lists. If you need inexpensive, highly effective data, let me know. If you prefer to pull from PropStream or other data sources, maybe you already are with some other data sources and you just need skip tracing, we do skip trace only for 2 cents per record, as long as it's not an LLC. If it's an LLC, we may have to do 5 or 6 cents depending on the quantity. And then if it's less than 10,000 skip trace only, we tend to do 4 cents. But guys, talk to me, tell me, guys, I'm a human being. I'm not a faceless corporation, which has its pros and its cons, right? When you're dealing with a large corporation, it can be easier to do integrations. But when it comes to price, guys, I'm a human being you can talk to face to face. Yeah, just talk to me, guys. Tell me, hey, Jen, I need this, and I'll help you. Or unless I might take Jim's advice and go up. There is a pain in the rear end factor. If you're paying the rear end, the price goes up.
Hey, I look out for friends. Come on.
No, see Michael Jake's face there.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
much. So we've
much,
talked
Jim.
a lot about data. We've talked about systems. We've talked about goals. Ellie, thanks so much for your presentation on goals as well. It was really solid. And I think if everyone could do one thing is find your number one goal for the next 3 months and just focus on it every day. I think we'd all be shocked if we knew what that number one goal was, we internalized it, we wrote it down, maybe post it on your computer, on your bathroom mirror, wherever it is, so you don't get away from it. And really just block out time to work on it every day. Like even just if you're having trouble finding deals, block an hour a day and do nothing, just turn your cell phone off and just do nothing but look for a deal every day and look to make some offers every single day. And you'll start hitting those. Anyone else have any closing questions or comments? You can unmute or put it in there. Thank you, Melanie. I have not done an open Zoom like this since COVID. Michael, you remember we were doing these during COVID. They were a lot of fun. It's like the only way we could see people back in 2020. But I'm going to consider doing them again. I've enjoyed it. Do you have any closing thoughts, anybody? Was this helpful today? I hope. Anything closing? Allie or anyone?
Thank you for doing this, Jim. I even got something out of this too. So I really appreciate you doing this for everybody, especially for people who aren't actually Inner Circle members. So I know that this helped so many people.
We have I'm going to put Inner Circle is only, if you prepay 6 months, it's only $67 a month. Do you think it's worth it, Allie?
Heck yes.
I mean, you've been in a long time, so is Jennifer and a lot of you guys.
Absolutely.
It's $67 and $97 a month, and it's no contract, and it's some people come and go and others stick around for years. But I highly recommend it. I think it's the only type of coaching I do. I won't do one-on-one. I don't have time to do that, but I know I've seen it impact a lot of people, and I really think everyone should join, to be honest with you. Wouldn't you agree, Allie?
I 100% agree. I tell everybody.
I've had the pleasure of watching people like you, Allie, like a few years ago when you started, I wasn't sure what you'd be doing, and now look at all the things you've accomplished, you and Corey, and I love it.
Well, thanks to you. We've had great love and support from you, so I appreciate that.
All right, so check out Finish Green. Ellie is phenomenal. It's good to see you guys and hang out with you guys. We'll try to do this again. I hope we didn't wear you out too much today, Ellie. I put you on the spot a few times. But isn't it nice at the beginning of the year to focus on your goals and think about what you want your life to look like and a little bit on your legacy? And just think for a little bit about what the opportunities coming up in the coming year look like. And then just hang out with phenomenal investors from all over the country. All right, I'm going to let you guys all go. I'm going to go back and work on finding some more deals as well. Ellie, thank you so much. Michael Jake, it's good to connect with you on the phone earlier and then on Zoom today. Hope you guys have an awesome day. We'll see everybody later. We really appreciate you guys connecting in. See you later.
Thank you.